Hi, I'm Patrick Reagan. Welcome to the Windows Tools Part 13 Services. During this video, we'll define services, how to manage services with the Services Console, and the accounts that run the services. As always, stick around for the practice questions at the end, test your knowledge, and help you prepare for the A+ exam. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to click the like button. And if you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Has Your Back channel for more tech training content and technical know-how. Windows services are a core component of the Microsoft Windows operating system and enable the creation and management of long-running processes that operate in the background of the operating system without a user interface. They often start automatically during boot, allowing them to run independently of user logins, making them ideal for tasks like web servers, antivirus, and system management. All services are managed by the Windows Service Control Manager, which handles commands to start, stop, pause, or resume them. Services can be managed using the services MMC snap-in, can be opened with services.msc, is listed in the Windows Tools, and is included with Computer Management Console. The service's primary startup types include the following. Automatic. The service starts immediately during the system boot process. This is used for critical services that must be active as soon as the operating system loads, such as the Windows event log. Automatic delayed start. This service starts shortly after the system has finished booting, typically about 2 minutes after the last automatic service has started. This helps reduce boot time resource competition, making the system responsive faster. Manual. The service does not start during boot. It will only run when explicitly started by a user, another service, or an application that requires its functionality. And disabled. The service is completely prevented from starting, even if a user or another service attempts to trigger it. Disabling critical services can lead to system instability or cause dependent programs to fail. Services can also be configured to be trigger start, which means the service starts or stops automatically in response to specific operating system events, such as the device being plugged in or the network connection becomes available. This is configured using the SC trigger info command. Lastly, while not shown in the Services Console, there are boot and system, which are primarily used for device drivers. The boot drivers load during the initial bootloader phase, while system drivers start during kernel initialization. In Windows services, the logon account determines the level of access a background process has to your computer's files, settings, and network. The following accounts are managed by Windows and do not have passwords you need to enter. Local system is the most powerful account. It has unrestricted access to almost all local resources and access to the computer itself on the network. Because of its super user status, it is a high-risk target for security exploits. Local service. A restricted account with minimum privileges, similar to a standard user. It's used for services that only need to work locally. It accesses the network as an anonymous user without credentials. And network service, which is similar to the local service, but designed for programs that need to reach other computers. It accesses network resources using the computer's actual credentials. A virtual service account is a special automatically managed local account created by Windows specifically for a single service. It follows the format ntservice \service name. The allow service to interact with desktop option is a legacy option that allowed a service, which usually stays hidden in the background, to display windows, pop-ups, or system tray icons directly on your screen. For security reasons, Windows now isolates services in a separate session 0 away from the user's desktop. While the built-in accounts are convenient, you would use a specific user account when you need to follow the principles of least privilege, giving a service only the exact permissions it needs to function and nothing more. You can use a local user account, will have limited access to machine if it is hacked. You can use a domain user account if you need access to a network share, a remote database, or other servers in the organization. For many enterprise tasks, Microsoft now recommends using managed service accounts instead of regular domain users. These are special domain accounts where Windows automatically handles the password changes for you, so you never have to worry about a service breaking because the password expired. The Recovery tab in Windows Services allows configuration of automatic actions when a service fails, including setting actions for the first, second, and subsequent failures. Options include taking no action, restarting the service, running a custom program, or restarting the computer. The Dependency tab is a read-only display that shows hierarchy relationships between services. It identifies which services must be running for the current service to function and which services rely on the current service to start, which is crucial for troubleshooting startup failures. While the tab itself is read-only, dependencies are defined in the Windows registry. The next few slides will cover some of the more well-known Windows services. Background Intelligent Transfer Service, or BITS, is the service that facilitates throttled, prioritized, and asynchronous file transfers between machines via idle bandwidth. It plays a key role in the delivery of software updates from servers to clients, as well as the transfer of files on Microsoft Instant Messaging applications. DNS Client Service is the service that resolves domain names to IP addresses and locally caches this data. DHCP Client registers and updates IP addresses and DNS records for the computer. BitLocker Drive Encryption Services provide secure startup for the operating system, as well as the full volume encryption for OS, fixed, or removable volumes. Cryptographic Services is a Microsoft Windows feature that encrypts and decrypts data on storage devices, which can be used for user authentication and archival encryption or decryption. Print Spooler spools print jobs and handles interaction with the printer. Remote Desktop Services allows users to connect interactively to a remote computer via a remote desktop client. Task Scheduler enables the user to configure and schedule automated tasks on the computer. Workstation Service allows Windows to access network resources, including shared folders and printers, using the Service Message Block or SMB protocol, while Server Service provides the network resources such as the shared folders and printers via the SMB protocol. Remember, even Windows 10 and 11 clients can provide shared folders and printers to servers and clients. NetLogon Service maintains a secure channel between this computer and the domain controller for authenticating users and services. Without this service, the computer may not authenticate users and services, and the domain controller cannot register DNS records. Remote Procedure Call, or RPC, is a software communication protocol that one program can use to request a service from a program located in another computer on a network without having to understand the network details. The Remote Procedure Call Service, or RPCSS, is the service control manager for COM and DCOM servers. Many services depend on RPC to function. Microsoft COM, short for Component Object Model, enables inter-process communication between software components. It uses a client-server architecture. A COM client connects to a COM server, and the COM server has COM objects with several interfaces that the client can use. COM Plus is the enhanced version of COM that provides better security and improved performance. When COM was made available for components on two different computers in a network, it becomes DCOM, which is short for Distributed Component Object Model. The DCOM protocol uses RPCs to expose the application objects while handling the low-level details of the network protocols. Restarting or stopping then starting service will clear temporary memory, reset hung or frozen background processes, and refreshes the service state to resolve malfunctions without rebooting the entire computer. In the Services console, you can right-click a service to stop, start, or restart a service. When you restart a service in Windows, any dependent services, which are those listed under the Dependencies tab, will automatically be stopped before the main service shuts down and will then attempt to restart after the primary service restarts. If you stop a service, any dependent services will also stop, but you'll have to start them manually if you want them to resume after starting a service. If you double-click a service or right-click a service and click Properties, it will open the Properties dialog box for the service. From the Properties dialog box, you can also stop or start a service. You can also stop, start, or restart Windows services using the command prompt or PowerShell. However, you must open the command prompt or PowerShell as an administrator. For the command prompt, you can use the net or sc commands. To start a service, you would run net start service name. To stop a service, you do net stop service name. To restart a service, you would combine the two commands with net stop service name, ampersand, net start service name. For PowerShell, you use the start service or stop service commandlets. Start service -name in the service name or stop service service-name in the service name. To restart a service, you would use the restart service-name in the service name. The service name is the actual service name found in the services.mmc properties, not the display name. For example, for print services, it is spooler, not print spooler. Question: what is the Windows core component that enables the creation and management of a long-running process? Answer: Windows Service. Question: what is the software protocol that allows one program to request a service from a computer on the network? Answer: RPC. Question: a user reports that a specific application fails to start every time they boot their computer. Think that a required background service is not running. What application would you use to look to see if the service depends on other services that might be failing? Answer: the Dependencies tab in the Services properties within services.msc. Question: a small office uses the Windows 11 Pro machine to host a shared folder for 3 other employees. The other employees report they can no longer access the folder. Which service must be running on the host machine to facilitate this file sharing? Answer: server. For more information, visit these sites. In summary, Windows services are a core component of the Microsoft Windows operating system and enable the creation and management of long-running processes that operate in the background of the operating system without a user interface. Services can be managed using the Services MMC snap-in. Local system has unrestricted access to almost all local resources and access the computer itself on the network. Because of its super user status, it is a high-risk target for security exploits. Thank you for watching this video. The next video will be Windows Tools, Part 14, Certificate Manager. If you like this video, click the like button. If you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Hatcher Back channel. Thank you.